Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Comprehensive care with a compassionate touch. That will always be the guarantee at Encompass Healthcare in Etheridge, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for primary or urgent care, x-ray services, or weight loss treatments, the team at Encompass is equipped to serve your needs today. The doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 and from 8 to noon on Fridays. Make an appointment with providers Kendra Brown, Tori Cox, or Ellie Brown today. That's Encompass Healthcare, located on Highway 43 North in Etheridge, next door to Chapman.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
The Summit of Lawrenceburg is the premier senior and assisted living community in the region. The Summit makes it home for you or your loved one with diverse suites that welcome and encourage community, plus gathering spaces, neighborhoods, daily activities, and a wonderful staff that supports you every day.
Hi, I'm Tara Blue. I'm the new director of the Summit, and we would like to invite you and your family to come and tour our facility. We would love to see you here.
There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody back here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. Still in our always something with you. Always something with you. We're back in our studio, still under construction, but hey, we can still do stuff in here. And we got all of our updated laminates for all of our schools. So, you're going to be getting used to Mid-10 Builders
spikes,
and Heritage Automotive
not
blocks,
Middle Tennessee anymore.
Mid-10.
Mid-10.
Yes.
Mid-10.
And we got all the wrong stuff out of the way at the Summertown Smackdown.
Yeah.
We're back at it. But guys, speaking of back at it, had some middle school volleyball and some middle school football. And Cade, last night things got a little interesting between Harris Middle School, aka Shelbyville, and E.O. Kaufman, a.k.a. Lawrence County, last night. A lot of points on the board in that game.
Yeah, and, they were up by 2 scores there at the end. Lawrence County was with, I think, a minute to go. Yeah. 2 plays later, Harris scores, and now we're like, uh-oh, this may be. Yeah. This may be. They're going to have to really – well, and, I thought about this. It was I think, it was right before one of the Colt Evans ran in that last touchdown for E.O. Kaufman. There was like 40-something seconds left. He broke away for a big run there and decided to run it on in. I thought right as soon as he ran it in, did he score too early? Could he have probably fell down?
2 scores with like a minute.
Yeah, I would say you probably could have gone down and just taken a knee and gone home with it right there. But
gosh, I swear, that had to happen.
Who was it? Who is it?
It's a Lawrenceburg number. I don't know.
That's even better.
Oh, man.
It's always something. But I did think about that. But it ended up to work out E.O. Kaufman's way, and they ended up winning by a score. A lot of points scored in that game, man. A lot of points scored, and good to see Kaufman to bounce back after last week taking the loss. On a short week as well, or a short weekend, four and a half days, something like that. Quick turnaround, and now I think from now on out it'll be every Tuesday night as they'll play. So they go to Tullahoma next week, first road game. Hopefully to get a win there, and they're 1-1 now in the season. Hopefully to go up and get another win at Tullahoma.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was watching all these games because Harris goes right down the field 70 yards and a handful of plays. And then Kaufman scores the very next play, and then they get an interception, score on the very next play.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking
two offensive plays, 2 scores for Kaufman. I think
I'm thinking Jacole. I'm like, all right, let's make sure this guy stays around here because there's just so much talent, and for not having a great start, they certainly finished well. Man, a lot of speed. Offensive line was doing some good work. Defense got enough stops to do what they had.
I have to give credit to Harris. They ran kind of a 2 quarterback system there, a 1-2 punch with. We didn't even get a roster for Harris. But there was number 2 and number 7 I think, come in and played quarterback. Number 7 was the starter, but he dealt with an injury or two, nothing too serious, but ended up coming and playing the full game. But he would come in at tailback and play. He would come in and play some receiver. He, this, that, and the other. While number 2 would come in and play the quarterback position. So they played very well. I thought they played very well, but I'm thankful E.O. Kaufman was able to come out with a win.
Yeah. And I think that defense, obviously, for Kaufman is something that's going to come on as the season goes along. So, giving up 30 points in week 2, it might not be great, but if you can get that down to the mid-20s or even low 20s by the end of the season, you feel pretty confident that offense can score in the mid-20s or even in the 30s and 40s like you saw last night.
And there was several plays where, the defensive line and them linebackers, I can't remember, number 66 and Jackson Jacobs, I think, broke through that offensive line and got to the Pogue too as well. Yes,
doing a
66
great job.
And number 55 broke through and got some tackles for losses there. So things are clicking. Things are clicking, and it's still early in the season. So excited to see what next week holds.
Yeah, and high school volleyball still going. You guys have seen plenty of that as well.
Yeah, I would say I was in Summertown yesterday. Got to see Summertown and Leoma, 2 in-county teams going at it in Summertown. It's pretty normal, but they're really good at volleyball. I would say Cade got to see them a couple times last week. This is my first time getting to see them this season, and man, they're excellent when it comes to serving. They got up. I think it was maybe 9 or 10-2 yesterday, and Amelia Burleson came up to served the rest of the set. Yeah, and it was a much more competitive set number 2. It was tied up for pretty close to 10 apiece, but Summertown really broke away late. And again, it just feels like the wealth of volleyball talent in this county is never short.
Yeah. Well, and as you mentioned, the last one I had with them was over at Perry County last Friday night, and they took care of Perry County pretty well in 2 sets. And I think every set they've played this year so far has been pretty well controlled by Summertown. Now, you said it was good to see, I guess, Leoma that was probably that second set was probably the most competitive they've had in a set yet as far as regular season play. Now, I don't know about preseason or nothing like that.
Yeah, and I think it was good Summertown to be tested a little bit because they, again, 25-2 in the first set, didn't have a whole lot of action coming back towards them. A lot more competitive from Leoma in set number 2. Good. So it looks like things will be up for the Eagles, though, this fall.
For sure.
Yeah, and we got jamborees going on. Lawrence County's got Lauderdale County. I've visited some schools over in Alabama last couple days. Saw Rogers, and speaking of Lauderdale County, saw Lauderdale County yesterday, and they've got a new coach. Reed Newton's coming in. He's been going to games at Lauderdale County since he was 5 years old. He played there. He's been an assistant coach, and he's got quite the task to take over there, guys. They have made the playoffs every year since 2010 and won at least one playoff game, including last year, in most of those years. So this is not an easy task that he has taken over. He's changed some things around. They're not wing teeing it anymore. They're going out of the spread, but they got some talent. They got some big boys up front, and they're always going to be tough over there at Lauderdale County.
Yeah, again, obviously you mentioned how the consecutive playoff appearances and the amount of wins they've gotten in that time. It's going to be tough to try to replicate that in year one, especially switching from a more of a conservative offense in the wing tee to trying to get more explosive with the spread. But it's got to be exciting as a first-year head coach when you were the little kid growing up, coming to these games, cheering them on, playing for them in high school, getting the assistant coaching job, and then making it up to the head coaching. You kind of hit all the steps there. So I think it's going to be an exciting season for them in Rogersville.
Well, it's almost it's probably got to be just a dream come true for him, and something a little bit more than just going out every Friday night and winning a football game.
Yeah.
If he gets that win or Lord willing, hopefully they make the playoffs again, it's like he gets to lay his head down at night and think, probably reflect on growing up. Like you mentioned, I mean, it just means it's more than a game almost. And I love stories like that, and how sports can help and there's all kind of stories across our county and North Alabama and of course all over our country like that, and that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, and Rogers got to see them. I got to see Central on Monday. They're coming off their first non-playoff season. They went like eight consecutive years. Won some games there. Didn't make it last year. Did finish 5-5. So they're wanting to get back on the right track. They've got some really, really good talented team out there. So Rogers coming off the best offensive year in school history, averaged 36 points per game. They got in the playoffs. Thing is, and when you look at everybody, and Rogers' schedule is crazy. They don't play any rivals until the last 4 weeks of the regular season. All rivals.
Wow.
Lexington, Lauderdale County, I think Brooks is on there, and Central, or Wilson is in there. So they get all their rivals there at the end. They're going to start off in Huntsville against JP 3. So, it's we haven't talked about because we just don't have as much knowledge, but the new shifts in Alabama with all the new regions, like for some of these Lauderdale County teams, speaking of Lauderdale County, they're playing Ardmore, who they've never played before. They're in their region now, and now they're playing West Limestone, who they haven't played in 17 years.
Yeah.
And they're playing them for the first time. You think, there's proximity. Proximity doesn't mean anything. Football's a different animal. Like basketball, you can play them. Baseball, softball, volleyball, you're going to see each other.
But it's a little different in football.
Football is way different in that.
Yeah, and I think that's going to make for some more, some new rivalries, some compelling rivalries. And I think that's going to, travel-wise, maybe be a little bit easier on some of these teams. Sometimes it feels like on Fridays you're making 2.5 hour trips sometimes when you could make a trip 20 minutes up the road. So convenience in that aspect.
Yeah, it's one thing that's great about Lauderdale County is all those schools in a way play each other. I know you can't really have an official Lauderdale County championship because Florence is in there and they're 6A.
I think they're the 7A.
They're 7A. Mars Hill is now in that private school division, which we'll get into the craziness that's going on there.
You're going down there in a minute.
I'm visiting them later this afternoon. They're coming off another state championship, but they're going out of 3A to this private school division now. And you're talking about travel. Their travel, I haven't looked at their schedule, but it's about to get nuts.
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be quite crazy
for them. But you still can hold on to these rivalries because you got some 3A teams. I think Lexington's 2A, but you're still going to play all of them. And I just love Lauderdale County is a big county, but everyone's got some form of a rivalry there, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, and it's not. Like you mentioned, it's not just the Florence and the Muscle Shoals. There's a lot of other smaller rivalries. There's a lot of these small schools that have compelling rivalries, and I think that's what makes football season so much fun down there. Is you got the games on Thursday night, you got the games on Friday night. You can hit up multiple games a week, and these rivalries are a ton of fun.
Yeah, can't wait to see what Mars Hill's going to add. They've been a Division I factory. Did lose their head coach. He's at Russellville now. They got a big rivalry against Deschler next week. We got to see it last year.
That was a great game.
That was a great game. I hated I had to miss Lawrence County Summertown for it, but I got a pretty good replacement.
Was it 16-15 or 15-16,
something
like that? Yeah,
touchdown right at like the last 30 seconds. It was it was a lot of fun there. But looking forward to see what Mars Hill has, and then we're getting in. Is it, again, I'm not from here, and I know there's a lot of crossover in the other sports, volleyball, baseball, basketball, but can you remember the last time any of our teams here played anyone from Alabama in a regular season game?
It's been a little bit. I know Loretto used to play Rogers early in the season, but that's been 2 coaching staffs ago. Maybe even 3 now.
Talking about football.
Football, yes.
Yeah.
It used to be pretty frequent in the 2000s, early 2010s, and even back into the 90s a lot, but it feels like sometime, maybe since COVID, that it just you typically don't dip down into other states for football.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
I'm
not sure.
I haven't looked into it,
and it could be a little bit of the fact that and I don't want to necessarily talk too negative, but Loretto and Lawrence County haven't been exactly on the dominant end of football things. And you look at the Mars Hills and the Florences and the and you can even go to the Lauderdale counties and teams like that. Maybe wouldn't be the best matchup.
I can understand.
So it may have some bit to do with that, but I don't know. I haven't really thought about it until you mentioned it, but we haven't played at least in a regular season game.
And then you have of course what's north of us, all the metro city schools, and but the talent there.
And they get some like Lipscomb Academy will play IMG, but that's different. Like you don't even see like the big 7As like the Hoovers, and Valdosta and what's the big county school in Valdosta. I pass by their stadium on the way to Disneyland every time. They're perennial. Is it Lowndes County?
Yes.
Lowndes County. Like they'll play some like teams out of Arizona and California and Florida.
Well, like Baylor School out of Chattanooga went and played Buford High School in Georgia.
Yeah. But on the Alabama side, it's rare when you see it, and there's not a lot of crossover. I know back in West Virginia, unless you're a border school. Like you're on like the Ohio, Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia border, you'll get some crossover. Like you might play one team, but like my high school, when we played a team from Ohio, my sophomore and junior year, and that was a huge deal because we had never played an out-of-state school before.
Wow.
So we went, now this school was right over the border over there in Ohio, and we actually beat them my sophomore year to get into the playoffs. But like when you look, I understand it from that, when you look at it from the ratings, like that can be the number one team in the state of Ohio, that can be the number one team in the state of Alabama, but the ratings and how they determine who's what and your strength of schedule, that's just a normal 2A team. I know that's how it works in West Virginia. I'm sure it's how it works and I think the regions and that sort of stuff. And
I think another thing that can contribute to that is football. You have 10 games. And if you're in a region that's got, say, 7 teams in it, you have 6 games already taken up right there. So, and you want to keep your rivalry. So, like for Loretto, Lawrence County, that is a rivalry game. You got to keep it. Collinwood, that's another one that you've played every year. You got to keep it. You have 2 extra games now.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the Rogers, they want to keep the teams like the Brooks and the Mars Hills and stuff like that on their schedule. I think now we're at a point now where region schedules don't really line up. Because in football and basketball season, you have, or baseball and basketball season, you have 20-30 games to play. We can go down and play Waterloo or something. Go play a team from Mississippi maybe. There's a lot more, I think, free will with that.
Unless you would like to in football, maybe start a couple weeks earlier.
That's up to the state organization.
Yeah, exactly. But just trying to prove your point as far as you have your 6-7 games, and you have your 6 region games, and then your in county rivals for the other ones, and then you ain't really got any else left.
And I think it'd be cool if you were like us, a bordering county that maybe
like opening.
Yeah,
like okay, this is we've got this worked out. Summertown's going to go play them. Loretto's going to go play them, Lawrence County's going to host, and then we'll somebody from Lauderdale County, and you kind of you switch it up. I mean,
just kind of broaden it out just a little bit.
Like Central comes to Lawrence County, Loretto goes to Lauderdale County, Summertown hosts Rogers.
Yeah, and you're perfect.
It's opening week, and then you can get to everything else. But to the point of like Summertown is playing Wayne County every year. They've been playing Richland every year. Now you got I think they have something with Cascade now, and then you add Lawrence County to it, and now you've only got one game really kind of to play with. Whereas in basketball and baseball,
you have 15 games or 20 games you can throw in there against
you can
whoever.
throw in there, and you really don't, especially the first month and a half of the season, November, December, your first 2 months, and then you come back after winter break and you're playing district games. And in the same, but when Alabama starts a little early and they're playing district and their region games like almost right from the get go. But there's more wiggle room with this, and I understand your point. There's not much wiggle room when it comes to football with just 10 games, and Summertown and Loretto's region has more teams. Lawrence County's only got 5.
I'd like to get a rivalry like a Rogers Loretto, and this is just because I grew up seeing some of these games, Lexington Loretto, something like that to kind of cross state lines again.
Yeah, for sure.
A little border war. We're trying to get it going here in basketball again, but having they used to play it at UNA, but like UNA's basketball schedules are kind of unpredictable, and trying to you got to wait till they get their schedule going before you can get, and there's rules around that as well till you can get it. So I would love to. Here at the Ralph, we're going to get our Tennessee schools are going to be our 3 county schools, and we're going to get Collinwood, Frank Hughes, Wayne County, and then we're going to get equal teams over from Alabama. Everyone come play at the Ralph. 6 games.
That would be awesome. Start them. I would say do that on a Saturday. Start at like 10 or 11 o'clock. Run all day. I mean, that'd be a great way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
It's like WWE. I've got all these great ideas, and no one listens to me. All around. Well, guys, coming up next, we're going to big franchise gets sold, and we're going to talk about some Little League drama. And as always, the adults just ruin everything. That's coming up next here. X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
There's a reason owners Tyler and Cindy McDowell chose the name In Service for their towing business. They did because it's their goal to be in service for you on the day that you need them the most. In-Service Towing is now known far and wide for their response time because minutes matter when you're broken down, or their 24/7 availability. You can call them anytime for service. Their professional team with years of experience and their fairness, plus their know-how in dealing with the unexpected. But the thing that In-Service is known best for is how they treat their customers, and that's like family. When you need them, call them 931-843-9098.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
At Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, we're proud to be locally owned and operated because we're not just a bank, we're family. When you call, you'll be greeted by a friendly representative who's ready to discuss your banking needs, as well as offer our competitive rates on CDs and money market accounts. Our loan decisions are made in-house and never sold to a secondary market because our commitment is simple. You matter to us. At Lawrenceburg Federal, we offer all the conveniences of larger banks with a personal touch. Join us at Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, where community, trust, and service come together.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody back to, I'm just giving you time for Kate's phone to go off. Back on X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen, AJ Good, Kate Schultz, Michael Marks, and guys, before we get into all the national news going down in the world of sports, and we've had a lot, let's get into what everyone seems to be talking about, and that is the controversy in the Southwest region of Little League. Winner of that obviously goes to the Little League World Series. I'm just going to read it. It's wild. A Texas judge has backed a decision to remove a Tulsa, Oklahoma team from the Southwest region and keep it from playing in Tuesday's championship game for a berth in the Little League World Series, according to a statement from a Little League spokesperson. Little League Baseball on Monday determined that a player was ineligible and removed Tulsa National from the region, deeming its previous game a forfeit. Later Monday, parents of players on the team filed and were granted a temporary restraining order from the 414th District Court in McLennan County, Texas, allowing Tulsa to play for the title against West Texas on Tuesday, but Little League Baseball then asked the court to vacate the order, which they did on Tuesday afternoon. So the West Texas team, born Texas, I believe, is on their way to South Williamsport. Good luck with that. But here's, I lived an hour south.
Yeah.
It's out there. But okay. So this is, okay. The player, identified in court documents as OG, is ineligible based on a wrong birth year entered on behalf of his sibling, through whom OG maintained his eligibility for the Southwest Region Tournament. According to a court filing obtained by ESPN on Tuesday, in the filing, Mindy Abbott, the Little League's district administrator in Oklahoma, wrote on behalf of the OG's teammates to the Little League Tournament Committee members. Blah, blah, blah. 13 players didn't enter the incorrect information, whatever. The filing said OG had played for Tulsa National Little League and Oklahoma State Tournament, but not in the Southwest Region event. The document said OG resides outside Tulsa's National's ordinary geographic boundary, but his sibling, identified as KG, is a member of Tulsa National's Challenger Division, which is an adaptive program for children with physical and intellectual challenges. In a letter to the Tulsa National Little League dated July 7th, the Little League International Charter Committee granted OG eligibility based on the sibling relationship. Abbott said in the documents that the player's father mistakenly entered the wrong birth year when registering the sibling. Abbott said that she learned about it after the state tournament, which is where they should have been disqualified from the get-go.
Yeah.
OG's sibling ultimately did not participate in the games necessary to maintain the basis of OG's eligibility. Yes, he did. The other tournament, Abbott wrote in the declaration in the court documents, once the issue arose, OG's parents withdrew him from the Tulsa Nationals tournament team before he participated in the Southwest Region tournament. It was too late. Those protests were three protests were filed. The first filed before the tournament, according to the Little League Baseball's emergency motion filed late Tuesday, not related to OG. The protest was denied. Two more protests were filed related to OG, which triggered the formal investigation, according to the motion. The motion said that OG's father, the registered OG sibling, as a 7-year-old in the Challenger division, finally said that the father confirmed directly to a Little League official that the sibling is actually 10 years old.
Oh, so this isn't even like a born in August, needed to be born in June kind of thing. This is a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old lying about being 7, which with someone who has young kids.
The parents lying that the 10-year-old is actually 7.
I mean, what are we doing?
He forgot his age.
Yeah. And then registered the other kid who got into that league despite being
but he just put the wrong. He just put the wrong number down.
He put the wrong number down. So number one, you've got a kid in a special needs division who's too old. That's problem number one. Then you grandfathered another kid into your Little League division who's too old.
Yeah.
And he played in the state tournament. I don't care if he didn't play in the Southwest region.
He's on the
He's on the roster. You got there. That should have been done before they even got there.
I don't get the... I get it. Everybody wants their kid to be a star athlete or whatever, but that's not the way I'd want to go about it. Like, if I want my kid to play in a wrong age division, it's going to be backwards where he's younger playing up with older kids, not the other way around. I don't want my kid, let's say he's 10 out there playing with 8-year-olds. That's not fair. It's not good for the sport. He's not getting anything out of it. They're not getting anything out of it. And it's kind of saddening that you would see parents do this to a league of kids. I mean, this is 10, 11, and 12-year-olds.
Like, you're scheming to get your team into this World Series. Like, I don't care if you didn't play.
For what?
They're 12 years old. They're 12 years old. And number one, you've already schemed them in there using a special needs kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's
doing?
And that's beyond wrong to use it that way.
Like,
you already have... Well, even with them putting the special needs kid into the league that he wasn't supposed to be in, I mean, that was wrong from the start. And then you use that to kind of, like you say, leapfrog and grandfather that other kid in. I mean, I don't want to put any blame on the kid necessarily because it wasn't. Yeah. I don't think they necessarily knew they were doing something wrong, or if they, it was more on the parent side. But it's just wrong. On so many different levels.
It don't always start. It just starts like this. And they probably had a hint of, he obviously somewhat knew. Yeah. But he probably knew, okay, this is not that big of a deal.
And it's not the children's fault.
It's not
the parents'
exactly.
fault.
Well, I'm reading all this right here on Yahoo Sports is what I'm reading it on, and I'm like,
and it's not even like winning or making it to the Little League World Series or winning it guarantees you're some big star. Like, I'm sitting here thinking off the top of my head, Cody Bellinger, I remember when he was in the Little League World Series, he's turned out pretty good. Yeah. But can you think of a whole lot of other tremendous...
There's been a handful.
Like, I think... Sadon Rafaela, I think he played in the Little League World Series. I remember Jake Fromm, the quarterback from Georgia, but it's not like, hey, you're the next Mookie Betts or you're the next Shohei Ohtani playing in the Little League World Series. It's not that deep, and you've tainted something that most people would view as the most pure form of baseball you can get now.
Exactly. And how is this going to look from here on out as far as Tulsa's Little League or as far as the Southwest region in general? When people think of that region, what are they going?
Well, because now in 15 years, it's like, in Tulsa, say makes it back. It's now you think, I remember what happened to that team the last time they were here.
The problem is okay, they play with an eligible player in the state tournament, so that cost another team from Oklahoma who could have had a chance. Right. So that's where the problem starts. I don't care if the kid didn't play in the Southwest region and you won it legitimately, which they didn't even get that far yet. They got stopped. But like, you already cost another team, and now you could have cost all these teams from all these different states. And like, it's just, you think you're doing it for the kids. You're doing it for yourself. And I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to litigate this, but there's some stuff going on in this county, and I'm not even going to mention what it is, but there is stuff going on with this county with certain people, and you think you're doing the right thing For your kids, you're not. You're not.
And what you don't think of, it's like, yeah, you're doing that to help your kid, but you mentioned the team from Oklahoma that didn't make it. Look at all of those kids that had their dream of winning the state tournament and going to that Southwest Regional ripped away from them.
Right.
You know, look at the team that, you know, I don't know if they did, but any team they eliminated in that Southwest Regional. It's like, now, sure, that kid didn't play, but it was still a tainted team.
And it's just, you know, you're setting up your kids for failure down the line.
Well, yeah, it's like, hey,
well, if I want this done, mommy and daddy will help me out.
Or I can circumnavigate the rules if it helps me out a little bit.
That might help you when you're 12 years old in Lawrenceburg. And that's not what I'm even referring. There's nothing that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get that
there's no
away.
12-year-old in Lawrenceburg.
There's none of that going on here at all. That's not what I'm referring to. But like, that will work here in Lawrence County. That will work in Lawrenceburg. But if you try to get a job in Nashville, try to get a job in Huntsville, cross the state line, and you want to go play football and basketball or baseball, wherever, like, sorry, those people do not care who your mommy and daddy are.
Exactly.
Like, you're setting it like they have to work for them. Make them work for it. Like, you know, you might think what you're doing is the right thing and setting them up for success. Actually, no. You're making it worse.
Like I mentioned, I mean, this is the thing is, who are we? And again, I'm a 22-year-old kid, but I'm no parent yet. But we're not raising first-round draft picks here from the Little League. I mean, you know, we're raising young men.
This is where you're teaching people how to play. Well, just the basics of baseball, how to be a good teammate, how to be a good friend.
Through that, they learn things about how they're going to eventually live their life, the principles, you know, that sort of thing. That's how I look at it. And I think that's important. And now you have this, and you show the kids, you put things in front of the kids that things like this don't matter. Oh, we can cheat the game, or we can pull strings here or there. In a game of baseball, well, if they see their parents can do this in a game of baseball, they're just going to do that at school. They're going to grow up and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
And at some point, it's just not going to work anymore.
It's not going to work anymore.
Certain people are like, I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care who your mommy is.
Right. And
like,
then
at some
things
point,
are
you
got to
be an
apart.
adult.
And I will say that you could look at this as a positive. I think we have a generation of people coming up that don't care who your mommy and daddy are in sports. So, exactly. So I think that's going to
be afraid to call it out on air if I think you're doing some BS. Be aware, people. You know, I can't control this, and I might blurt something out. And I don't mind if you're doing some chicanery and doing some BS to call it out to the public, because I think the public should know. But that's just
100%.
But we don't have anything like that going on, so I'm giving you a fair warning.
Before we move on from the Little League, who won the Southeast region?
That Texas team.
Oh,
the Southeast region.
Southeast.
I think it was it Alabama?
Because Goodlettsville was it?
Nolensville.
Nolensville, not Goodlettsville. Nolensville.
But still, a team from the Nashville area.
Yeah, from the Nashville area.
Some basketball news before we wrap up. The Lakers being sold to Josh Kirshner and former Disney president Bob Iger for $12.5 billion, which is a record most sold by one franchise has been sold.
And see, I just remember watching the Winning Time Lakers show on HBO and talking about how, you know, Jerry Buss, how little he bought the team for back in the late 70s, because nobody cared about the NBA. It wasn't a big thing right now, and honestly, I think it's probably a good move by Jeannie Buss. I believe she was the one that was still the owner at that point. At this point, to kind of get out, because I do see the NBA is probably, I'm not saying it's going to die out or anything, but it's starting to hit a bit of a decline in popularity. So, you know, what better way to do that than to kind of move on with the biggest brand in the sport in the Lakers? They just got rid of LeBron. I think it's time to start anew and
start over.
And I think they're looking at from the top with a new ownership.
And before closing out on this, I don't know if you guys saw the Indiana Fever head coach. She had a pregame press conference to release a statement. And I'm just going to read the ESPN article. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White gave an impassioned statement to reporters before Tuesday night's win over the New York Liberty, in which she proclaimed the hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. White, who is in her second year as Fever head coach, was responding in part to what she called an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply don't exist, after some felt she did not cannot have Sophie Cunningham's back. When the Fever guard was on the receiving end of a flagrant foul from Chicago Sky guard Jejane Carrington. She didn't have her back, by the way. She went and checked on Carrington.
Checked on the other team's player, yeah.
We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided, White said on Tuesday before the game. Every day, these women put their rear ends on the line. I'm not going to say the other word. Every day, when they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win, and kindness will win. I stand by them. Always have. Stand by them. Everybody else could go to hell. How can love will win? Grace will win. Humility will win. Everybody else can go to hell. Like,
have you watched the WNBA? The only clips I've seen of it this season are people beating the crap out of each other.
Like, well, here's the thing about the foul.
Now we got two guys declaring for the draft.
Yeah. And here's the thing. This is what she said about the foul. Look, it was a hard foul. White said about it. It did happen. I thought it was the right call. One of the things is like Carrington's going to play her butt off. Nobody's going in, walking in for a layup. I don't oppose a hard foul. Also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck. This is right after she said she did not see it. So she went in, commented, and then took her back about it, then it has to come back
and say, I didn't see it.
And say, I didn't see it in real time. Because if you watch it, she gets fouled. I mean, it's a hard foul. Mm-hmm. Everybody handled it right. She got ejected. The officials did their part. They got ejected. She walks in.
They got it.
She got the player. Jejane Carrington got it. Like, it's a flagrant too. Clearly it is. Yeah. And then you see her coach walk right by Sophie Cunningham, right to her to check on her. And like, she's like, and then she defends what she did when she didn't actually see it.
Yeah.
Like, what are we, it's like, this league, I've watched a few games and it's gotten so much better. There's so much talent.
Oh, yeah. The talent is by far the best
this league has ever been. And people like her cannot get out of their own way.
And I don't get why there is so much disdain between the players, because you look at it in the NBA, like, I get it. Sure, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, these guys in their prime, they may have been the most popular player in the league. And in Michael Jordan's aspect, there were a bit of, trying to take him out, I guess you could say. But it wasn't to the point where it was just everything. Yeah. Because I'd say the only big storylines in the WNBA right now, and this is from somebody that hasn't watched a full game this year, whistle to whistle, that it looks like everybody's just trying to beat up on Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham.
And it's the coach isn't handling right. You have this organization who's banning and barring reporters, certain reporters in that area, they're not handling right. You got the commissioner. She won't even go on Dan Patrick's show. And it's fun. I don't know if you've seen that. They're talking about her. She's in a bunker and she's duffing a shot in the bunker as they're talking about it. It's perfect. And then my
thing is she got ejected or whatever. Yeah.
And then she goes she goes into the locker room and tweets out white privilege and ats the Indiana Fever. And then she tries to say, well, it wasn't what you guys think. It's the narrative you create. I'm like, okay, we'll clarify what you were talking about.
What did you mean by that?
She hasn't done. And everyone's like, well, she doesn't need to clarify. Actually, I think she does.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's why, and this is another reason.
Get paid more.
Yes. Yeah. And this is another reason that I think the NBA is probably, I'm not going to necessarily, but is better off probably trying to separate themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And the simple aspect, LeBron gets fouled and goes down and does his big hodgepodge. Yeah. He doesn't come up screaming white privilege or something.
Yeah.
When he gets up, he may complain about the refs and say, "Oh, the ref doesn't like me," or "Oh, this fan in the front row said something, throw him out." But it feels like you're trying to make a narrative. You're trying to place a narrative that's not there to begin with.
I mean, the fans deserve
and if you try to question it, then you're on the wrong side.
Then you're on the
Fans deserve better. The league deserves. I mean, there's so many good teams with so many good players. We're not talking about AJ Wilson, who's the best player in this league
by far. Yeah,
and you've got some up and coming teams, up and coming stars. Like if this was the NBA, this would not. Didn't
they go into Canada? Is Canada getting a team now?
Yeah, next year. You're like they're expanding. They're doing great things, but they cannot get out of their own way when it comes to this stuff. And it's like, we're all rooting for you. But
if the WNBA was great, we would support it. I mean, it's not like we're here against it or anything. If they put a good product on the floor, people will watch it.
Which in some cases they are. It needs to be more consistent, and you need to handle your business when it comes to this.
Yep.
They're just not doing it right now.
Right.
So, well, guys, that will wrap it up here for X Sports Live. We'll be back again on Friday. We'll recap, we'll preview the two jamborees that day, and we'll recap Lawrence County's from Thursday. So for Cade, Michael, and myself, we'll see you guys then.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.